Okay, so let's get started with our today's agenda that we are going to learn polymorphism. And with this, let me share my screen. Where is my screen? And here is the share. And here I go. So are you able to see my screen? Yes, right? Yes, perfect. So we are going to learn polymorphism. So this is the third most important feature from object-oriented programming. So from all the perspective I'm talking about, but in Python as well, we are going to use it a lot. But before moving forward, you have all the concepts of objects, classes, and inheritance should be clear because we are going to integrate. See, whatever I'm teaching you, it's all in sequence. If you miss any of those single part, you will not be able to understand what is next, right? So that's why I want all of you to focus and revisit all the things which you did yesterday. I told you something to find out what is multi-level inheritance and what is multiple inheritance, like, right? So we saw example, the time when we were leaving, we saw one of the two examples for both, right? So I guess you might have gone through that thing again, right? Okay, so I'm assuming that you know everything about inheritance, and with this, I'm moving forward. So today we are going to give you more focus on polymorphism. Okay, so here is what we are going to cover today. Okay, so in today's thing, we are going to see what exactly polymorphism is, then polymorphism for addition operator, so operator, and then we are going to see function polymorphism in Python. Then there will be few examples which we will be taking over here after this, and then we are going to see the difference between what is overloading and what is overriding. Okay, so whatever we are going to do with operator, that is overloading, and all the things we are going to learn. So that will be overloading all the examples that we are going to see. But I'll be also showing you what is overriding as well. Okay. So this is almost similar. So I guess most of you who are from computer background, who have some experience of programming language, so they know what is overloading and what is overriding. Okay. But take your 100% attention over here again, because this is the most favorite question of interviewer. They will definitely want to ask you whether you apply for any of the technical round in any of the company. This type of question, like this versus this, will be always there, definitely. So this is kind of thing which I wanted to cover, so that's why it is there in the list. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's see what exactly polymorphism is. Okay, so as I told you, polymorphism, again, the most important concept from programming language. And this polymorphism word is taken from Greek word. Okay, poly means many and morphism means form. So polymorphism means having multiple forms, having many forms of the same thing. Okay, so that same thing can be an operator, same thing can be function, same thing can be an object. Okay, so keep in mind everything. We are going to see how you can create multiple forms of function, multiple forms of operators, and multiple forms of objects as well. Okay, so with this, we are going to check what exactly it is. So here is much clear definition from technical perspective again. So first two are just normal points about polymorphism. So in third point, so this is very important. Polymorphism means same function name with different signature. I'll tell you about what is different signature means. Same function name being used for different types, okay, for different purposes, for different use cases. Okay, so that is called polymorphism. Okay, so about what is different signatures, that I'll cover when we'll move towards hands-on session. Okay, so this is polymorphism. Okay, this is, sorry sir. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, so we have our count of 25 that I know. So I guess Suraj is not yet here. Around, or he's here. Yes, he just joined. Perfect, perfect. So around 20-25 people joined every day, that I know. Okay, so with this, so we just cover what is polymorphism. Okay, so polymorphism is like we are going to use the same function, so or the same operator or the same object with different signature, and it's used for different types, different purposes. Okay, so let's go and check what is uh, first from operators perspective. Okay, how this polymorphism can be achieved with operators. Okay, so this example that you are going to cover, Okay, no. So the first one is the function with the function polymorphism of length function. So we all saw that length is an inbuilt function. So whenever we are going to do something like this, let me create a new file. Okay, I'm not sharing my PyCharm yet. Just a minute. I'm just creating a file, then I'll share. Okay. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you, so whenever you are going to write anything, so we were using length function to calculate the length of that thing, whether it is string, whether it is something else or whatever. But what we learned, so length, so whenever we are going to, so let me just give an example, name is equal to, so suppose I'm going to take my favorite name, and when I'm going to call length of this name, it means, so now you are aware about functions. Okay, so whenever we are calling length of something, so this length function is a call, but somewhere in Python module or Python that is installed in your system, there are certain libraries where there will be this function written. Okay, so def length of something, there will be some parameter a, and here they must be doing some calculations of the how to calculate the length. Okay, so if it's operator, then they will be parsing it by index and all, and they will printing the length of the index, right? Sorry, what is the last index, and accordingly they would have written the length of this particular operator that we are passing, or the data that we are passing over here. So this is done by Python inside the all their libraries, which are automatically get added when you install Python in your system. Okay, so we haven't imported anything over here, but since it is inbuilt function, so that's why we are able to access it. Okay, but if you see, we calculated length of, this is just a string example of string, but if we have a list over here, and if we have few parameters in the list, 1 comma 2 comma 5 comma something like this, then also if I do length of this list, see it is asking me for object, not a specific parameter. So I'm passing this L, and I guess it will not print because I need to add a print statement. Yeah, so here as well. So this is nothing but a good example of polymorphism. So what we did over here is, see, I got the length of this string Akshay is 6, and length of this list, where list have only 5 elements into it, so length of this list is 5. So that we got, but we use same function, see, same function, but this time function has, here this function has a list, here this function has, we are passing a string to this function, right? So the same function is doing multiple tasks. Okay, so that is the multiple forms of this particular thing. So it is polymorphism. Okay, so this is what we call as polymorphism. So that's what the funda over here. So here in this example, so the first one is string which we pass, and it will return us. So we just saw it returned us the length. Then we passed array, not array, list, and then we pass a dictionary, right? So whatever object, so we are changing the data type. Okay, but still, okay, so we are just talking about the polymorphism, and I just shown you the example how there are inbuilt function in Python. Python has some inbuilt function, they follows this property of polymorphism. Okay, so it is polymorphism, it means, so I guess Suraj, you might have missed the definition of polymorphism. Okay, connection wasn't good, sorry Suraj, so you need to go and watch it again. Okay, so polymorphism, just for you, I'm again helping you out. So polymorphism is having multiple forms of something. So something can be a function, it can be an object, it can be an operator. Okay, so right now we are focusing on function, but the function is inbuilt function from Python module, Python library, which is length function. So we are passing See here, I'm passing a string to this function. It is giving us the value. It is calculating length. Then again, I'm passing the list. Still, it will work. So we just saw over here. Sorry, I was not sharing both, right? So let me share my full screen so that you will be able to. Yeah. So we were passing a string, and it was giving us the result. Then we are passing the list. Then also the length function was doing its task and it was calculating the length. Okay, so it means it is doing multiple jobs for us. Okay, so same function, you pass string, it is going to give us right value. If you pass list, it is also it is going to give us the right calculation, the right length of the string. So that is nothing but a multiple applications or multiple types. What was the definition actual? So let me just get back quickly. Yeah, uses for different types. Yeah, right. So the same function we use for different applications, different use cases, different types. Okay, so that's what the polymorphism is all about. Okay, so then we have another type of polymorphism which is with operators. So this plus operator, when we use with integer, right now we saw this example, right? So num1 num2, if we use the plus operator, this is the addition operator, right? So if I use this operator, it will simply add those number, right? But if I use the same plus operator with string, what will happen? Yes, anybody in the chat box? Yes, Komal, yes. Concatenation, yeah. So it will mean not no more addition operator. It will act differently. The same operator, right? So same operator we were using. So I'm just quickly adding over here, right? Print. This is 10 plus 20. Okay, so this is my addition operator, right? But if I use the same operator with two string, Python plus programming, okay, then it will behave, it is not addition over here, it is a concatenation operator that we are going to see, and which will concatenate two strings. So whatever two strings we have, so Python, so it directly added in front of that, and the first thing did addition for us, right? The same operator. Yeah, I will talk about overloading and all at the later part, Kalani. Yes, you're right. It is operator overloading. But I'm just trying to show you what is polymorphism. So first is polymorphism, then comes the overloading and overriding. Okay. So those concepts are the next concept. First thing you need to know what is polymorphism. Polymorphism means using a same operator or same function or same object for multiple operations, multiple applications in multiple ways, in multiple forms, right? So that is polymorphism. So right now we saw how operator can be used as as different ways, in different ways, and we saw how function, a same function can be used in different ways. Okay. So, but this is not it. Okay, there are a few examples which I have. So this was the string example which I wanted to show you. So whenever you are not seeing the screen, just let me know. I guess I have shared whole screen. Yeah. Okay, so here are a few more examples I have. So polymorphism with function and object. Okay, right now I just told you what is polymorphism with a function, that is inbuilt function. So right now we are going to create our new function and we are going to create our object. So if I need object in my code, then I have to create classes, right? So objects will be there with classes, right? So object could be of string and that as well, but we are going to see a function and object along with classes. Okay, we'll quickly create few so I'm just going to remove everything from here. So suppose I have two classes. Okay, just give me name. This class A doing the same thing, what it should do. So we are going to see polymorphism with functions and object, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to see the polymorphism with objects, right? So object should be a different one. So there will be function which will act as a different when it is called by different object. Okay. So for that, so we have so for that, so let's create an example. So let's not take something called as A. Let's take some real example. So wherein I'll create give me some names of classes, two different. So I'll take a vegetable over here. Or okay, I took it already. Who is suggesting something? College. Okay, college 1 and college 2. No, college and universities will take like that. Okay, okay, let's go and do that. Since on Nandini's demand. Okay, so we have a class name as college. So in college, there will be few things. Suppose we'll take college 1 and college 2. Okay, so that will be easy for us to compare, right? So college 1, so we'll definitely have a name. Um get name. This is the function of this college. And sorry, I forgot to give you those braces, so those are necessary. Without those braces your code will give you error, right? So I'm going to print directly. The first name will be our main college name. So who all are here from AISSMS college? Let me just quickly see all of you in chat box. So we have Abhishek Mandani, then Pallavi Kalyani, everybody, Komal, then Kajol. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, so just give me for the next thing. Give me um, Madhuri is also from AISSMS. Okay, okay, I just got to know Madhuri. Okay, TEF. So there will be courses, right? So this college is providing some courses. Okay, so of course I'm going to take this Python as a course. Okay, right now here for this particular college, Python. Okay, so only 4 5 people are from AISSMS college. Fine, that's good. And then we have few others, right? So just tell me your name, which is I'm going to see first. I'm going to put it over here. College 2. Spelling wrong. Yeah. So who is from some other college? Just give me your college name. Modern. Okay. So we have def get name function with the same name, right? So this is, sorry, I just misspelled over here. Yeah. Print. So there must be something. Let it be modern. I'll write only modern. Okay. So modern college. Okay. I don't know what is problem with E. I always missed it. Okay. So in modern college there will be few courses, right? So there will be courses, get course, something like that function will be. Or let's make it get course because it gives right mm, meaning to this particular thing. Whenever we are calling any writing any function, we should write the name which should be the activity of this particular function. Okay. Okay, so we have get course, and this course of this college will be just suggest me a subject that is taught in modern college of engineering. Data structures. Okay, data structures. Okay, so we have two colleges, college 1 and college 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function. Okay, so I'm going to create a function called as, so now I have to take admission in any of the college, right? So I have a function of admission. Okay, so I'm going to take admission in any of the college. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go there, I'll ask that guy, so whether I'm going to get admission or not, and then accordingly, first I'll see what is the college name, then accordingly I'll choose whether I want to take admission or not, and then moving forward I'll do the rest of the stuff. Okay, so this admission will need some object, right? So it will need something that will help us to get the college name or get the course from that college. Okay, so one college might have a number of courses, so for that we need to have an object. So we'll get an object in a parameter, or you can write anything over here. Writing object keyword is not important. You can write anything. So whatever we are passing to this admission function, we are going to call this function. By the way, we are going to call this function over here. Sorry, I copied everything. Admission, and here we are going to pass the objects of our either this class or this class. Okay, so we are going to create the object of this class, we are going to pass it over here. I'm just writing the function before. Okay, so if I get an object, sorry, and what I'm going to do is object, let's take it as O. So many people will get confused with the object. So O is just an object, O dot get. So I want a name first, get name. This will return me the college name. Then O dot, sorry, dot, I entered first. O dot get course, right? Yeah, so this is going to work. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass C. So this is my function. So this is called as function polymorphism with functions and objects. So what I'm going to do over here is, so this function will help me to reduce or to use the same function twice, or the same classes or the objects which are I'm going to create. So this function is going to help me to get multiple. So suppose there are n number of colleges over here. Okay, so admission, the guy who is going to take admission is going to take the college name, and accordingly he will get the course. So what I need to have is, first I need to have two objects. Like I told you, I'm going to create two objects. So first object will be O1. This will be college. College spelling is capital. Yeah, college 1. This will be my first object. Then we have O2. Sorry, 02. I wrote 02. Fine. This is college 2. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call admission with O1. See what array are not 0, O1, and the same admission with O2. See, I called the same function but with different parameters. Okay, so this is whole together different class or the different object I'm passing, and again it is going to do the polymorphism thing for me. So I wrote only one function, but it is helping me out to get the data from different classes, with different objects. Are you getting my point? Are you getting the polymorphism criteria? Yeah, there will be a lot of things, Nandani. So this is the polymorphism with functions and object. Okay, see, whenever I'm calling this O1, I'm getting AISFMS, and the course is this. And when I'm calling the second object, when I'm calling the admission function with second object, then at that time I'm getting the respective corresponding thing. Now, so just for the understanding, I took only print statement, but so this thing from the wider perspective. Okay, so suppose this college 1 has their own set of procedure, right? Own set of procedure to there, as Nandini said, there will be criteria to get into that college. We'll check whether that criteria is matching. Okay, if criteria is matching, then only will revert that, will return that colleges you can get admission into this college likewise, right? So it's all your thought process. You need to create multiple functions, but what I just told you, so you can use the same function, admission function, with all the different attributes inside this different classes, right? So the same function will be used twice with different attributes and with different objects. Okay, so that is one kind of polymorphism. Okay, so this is just a polymorphism about this. Now let's move towards another kind of polymorphism with classes. Okay, so I guess let me just show you what exactly it is. So it's not I'm not going to type it this time. So I already have the polymorphism with classes with me. I prepared it just for you. So this is quite simple example, same like what we did, but there is quite just a difference. Okay, so this again, last time what we did, we created two classes, class 1, sorry, college 1 and college 2, right? So suppose here are two classes with name India and USA, and here this time I haven't created the third function. Okay, I directly created object, and with that object, like I can call this function, and I can call the I can call the same function, right? So capital is here in this US as well, and capital function is written over here as well, right? So again, so it is almost identical, but here what we did, we just created objects and we left out. We do not do the call of calling. Okay, we do not use those objects to get the everything from this function. We created a function and we use this function twice. We use that function for different purposes, right? For different use cases. So that's why it's function polymorphism, function related polymorphism. Now what we are seeing is, it is polymorphism with classes. So how you can achieve polymorphism with different classes. Okay, so likewise here is the class, we have two functions, capital and language. We have another class with same function with same name, this capital and language function. Now we are going to create the objects of each class, and from first class I'm going to call the same function, and from the second class I'm going to call the same function. Okay, So this is going to give me the value of the second thing. So this is polymorphism. The different classes or the objects we use or the same function we use in different classes, right? So this is different uh, kind of polymorphism, which is a class, a polymorphism with class. So you just need to know how you can achieve polymorphism with class. So that's just for the demonstration for you, right? So I guess your concept of polymorphism is clear. So whenever you are using a same function in different classes, see, that's what we do. So this is a polymorphism with class. Whenever you use same function with different object, that is polymorphism with that object. We did in last thing. And if we use same function, so we have a third scenario as well. So I haven't shown you in my presentation. So I have something for you. Yeah. So are you able to see my PPTs? Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Payal. So we saw just polymorphism with function object. We saw polymorphism with class methods. So in class we are calling the methods with same name, right? And there is third example which I just wanted to show you for clearing your concept of polymorphism, which will again help you out to go and check what is there in polymorphism. So polymorphism with inheritance. Okay. So now for this you need to have your concepts of inheritance really clear, right? So with this, with the addition of this inheritance in polymorphism, there is the function, there is the funda of overriding that is going to come into the picture. Okay, so function overriding. Okay, so with this quickly, I'm just going to show you how can we achieve polymorphism with inheritance. Okay, so this is the example which I just took from a different place. So we learned what is inheritance, right? So this inheritance also explain the difference between overriding. Yeah, we are going to take it after this thing. Let me first show you what is this. Then we are going to do examples on overloading and overriding. Don't worry. No, no, no. So that is the main concept. I'm just showing you how you can achieve polymorphism with classes, how you can achieve polymorphism with inheritance. Okay, and then there comes what is inheritance, sorry, what is overloading, and then what is overriding, right? So here what we just did is so just focus on the first class. So this is the parent class and this is my child class. Okay, so child class is inheriting all the properties of this parent. Okay, so this bird parrot is going to fly, right? So we have the flight, parents are going to fly, but in here in this flight function we did something else, right? In this flight function we are doing something else. Okay, so same flight function, but here we are doing something else, here we are doing something else. Okay, so whenever we are going to call whenever we are going to call flight function, so tell me what thing will get called. Yes, just focus on this part which is on the screen. Yeah, so we have only this thing, and now tell me whenever I'm going to create an object of this parrot, p is equal to parrot, and whenever I'm going to call p dot info, right? Intro, no, not intro, p dot flight. What will be the result of this thing? Yes, anybody? So now it's your time to think. Okay, we learned what is inheritance yesterday, right? So I told you which will get first child class. Okay, yes. Then parent class. No, it will not print. So will it print both? That is what you are saying, Nandini? Parrot can fly. Yes, parrots can fly will be the output. Yes, Manoj, you are absolutely right. So because so this is what happened over here. So this is we call first child class. Yeah, first child class. Okay, so right now we are creating the object of parrot. So what this object will do whenever we are calling this function, this function will check. So suppose if I do like this, okay, p dot intro. So that was there, right? So what this will do? No, sir, only child class. Yes, Nandan, you are right. So if I do like this, so what this thing is going to do is, so code how it will behave whenever there will be an interpreter at this line. So it will go in parrot function. it will check if there is intro function over here. If it is not, then it will go in, so sorry, will come in child, then it will go in parent, and in parent it will find whether we have intro function, okay, and it will print intro from there. But whenever we are calling this flight, it is going in this child class and it is checking if child class is having flight. If it is, then it is going to call this function, okay, then it is going to call this function and going to execute whatever operation that you did over here in this function, okay. So that is what that is how you can use polymorphism with inheritance. But since this is the already written function and we are again writing it, and this function actually overriding whatever we wrote earlier in the bird class, okay. So this is called as function overloading, sorry, function overriding, okay. What is function overriding? Understand this point. So you can't do function overriding without inheritance. So this is the golden statement from today's session. So you have to keep note of this thing. So whenever you will face any interview, they will ask you what is the basic difference between overriding and overloading. Okay, so that what that is, you can't achieve overriding without inheritance. Got it? So if there is no inheritance, you can't achieve function overriding. There must be inheritance. Okay. Is that clear? I guess it is clear, right? So let's go and check what else we have. Yeah, just quickly reply, guys, because I'll not able to understand. Are you getting it or not? If you have any doubts, please put it over here. Then I'll be help out. I'll help you with that. Okay. Okay. So now let's go back towards the example which I wanted to demonstrate. I was just trying to show you, or I just trying to make you clear what exactly it is. Okay. Then we have one more class, which is again penguin, and it is a bird. And penguin doesn't fly. We have same flight, right? So I have this thing. Yeah, I haven't wrote anything. Thank God. Thank God I removed everything. Now tell me. So if I called, okay, I already wrote P, right? So it will definitely going to call this flight of this penguin, right? So P is, I created three objects of these three classes. Why it is showing error? Too many blank lines. Okay, sorry. So this ID uses errors every time. So this was a warning actually. Okay. So I created object of bird, I created object of parrot, I created object of third class as well. Right now I'm calling p.flight. So I'm calling the flight function from this PE, that is penguin class, and here it is going to print this one because we just saw. So we inherited bird, and so this is different kind of multiple or multi-level. So this is some kind of inheritance. So what we are doing is we are calling this, we are taking this parent into this child and into this child as well. Okay. So whether you call flight from here, whether you call flight from here, so it is not going to go over here. It is going to execute the flight function which was there in the child class, multi-level, right? So it is going to call, sorry, it is going to, no, multi-level would be like this. If you add parrot over here, then it will be multi-level. Okay, likewise, so let me do something like this. So this is the proper form of polymorphism right now. So what I did is, I don't worry about what is there in parent, what is there in, this is grandparent now, this is parent, and this is our child. Okay, so I'm going to call a flight function, and this flight function is going to now your task is you have to go again to the yesterday's session. I'm going to upload it tomorrow or tonight, I see, and go again and visit what we did. So why this function yesterday, if you remember, whenever we are calling only child, okay, so it were helping us to access all the method from grandparent as well, parent and as well as grandparent. So what we were doing over there, right? So that is your task. You just have to go and watch that video, what we were doing. So this is a good example of having inheritance and polymorphism together. Okay, so those both concepts are really important from programming perspective in wherever there is object oriented thing. So, so this is going to do our work. Now this p dot flight is going to print this. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah, so penguins don't fly, but if I do something like this, p dot intro, sorry, intro. So now this intro function, it is going to check whether it is over here, it is not. Whether it is over here, it is not. But this intro function is present over here, right? So it is going to call this intro from grandparent. Okay, so this is I just wanted to show you, this is inheritance. Actually we inherited, but this flight function has overridden all. So this flight overridden this one, and the last flight overridden this, all both the flight function, right? So this is all overriding. So we'll go and give more focus on that overriding as well. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah, there are different types of birds. So this intro we got from here. Okay, so this is all about different types of different examples that comes under polymorphism. These are different ways by which we can achieve polymorphism.